Corbett. I'm the first vice chairman of the Committee to Honor American Veterans. I'm the mayor pro tem of the town of Sunset Beach Council and a retired Army colonel. I will be serving as the MC for today's ceremony, so you got to put up with me for a little while here. It's truly a pleasure to see so many people coming together on this beautiful Sunset Beach day. Welcome to our Veterans Memorial, where we take time today to remember and honor the sacrifices of those veterans and first responders who have gone before us. This is also the first public ceremony in Sunset Beach Town Park since the state of emergency for COVID-19 was put into effect last year. So again, it is a real pleasure to see everybody out here and smiling. And it's a real honor to welcome our special World War II guest. We have Marine Corporal Alma McClune. Raise your hand, please, Alma. Navy Machinist Mate First Class Carl Dinabrega. Army Sergeant Leo Jarbuz. Are there any other World War II veterans here today? If so, please raise your hand so we can recognize you. I do not see any. Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite the Sunset Beach Mayor Phillips, Shannon Phillips, to come and make a few welcome remarks.
Compliment John. I just want to welcome all of you today. Such a beautiful day out here. It's so glad to see everybody out. As we've been through this COVID, it's been sad for me. I'm a people person, and to be able to come out today and see all these people is just wonderful to my heart. Thank you all for joining us today on behalf of the town of Sunset Beach, for all those that sacrificed their lives for us to continue to have the freedoms that we have every day. We thank each and every one of you that come out, and to see all the veterans out today. I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all the sacrifices that you've given. You did not lose your life, but I know you've lost a lot of friends and people that did. And for that, my heart goes out to you. May God bless America. We'll lead on.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Mayor Phillips. Now, Honor Guard, would you please move into your positions? We're privileged today to have as our Honor Guard for the ceremony representing Sunset Beach Police Department, or our Assistant Police Chief Joe Smith and Police Captain Stan Gerganis, and representing the Sunset Beach Fire Department, our Fire Lieutenant Matthew Gaskins and firefighter Joseph Flumer. Now, Committee Assistant Treasurer, former Councilman, and Air Force veteran Lou DeVita will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And if you can, please stand and salute.
Thank you, John. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please continue to stand and salute as Brunswick County Deputy Sheriff Ken Medlin sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Sheriff, for that excellent rendition. We appreciate it. Pastor Gene Cobb from Seaside United Methodist Church will now give the invocation.
Let us pray. Glorious God of the ages, our community gathers to remember your great grace upon our nation and all that you have done through us to promote liberty, equality, and justice for all. We pause on this day to invoke the blessings of your kind spirit not only among us, but especially as we remember the many men and women throughout our history who have laid down their lives for our freedom. They did not die in vain. They died so that we could speak freely, assemble, and pause in this moment of reverence. They died so that democracy might live in the hearts of citizens of every sovereign state, united under one banner of red, white, and blue. They died 2 deaths. First, in service to their country or community, and the second by a life cut short of what could have been or would have been. Those who survived on the battlefield or in first responder service, who were in harm's way and returned home to live with family and friends, received a blessing, and we remember them as well. Today, this community honors all who rest from their labors. Silence our tongues when we seek harm or division. Lead us to actions that will end violence, discrimination, and the disruption of unity of the people. Put the words of power into the kind benevolence of your grace, which we alone need. Only then will the lives and deaths be intertwined for the cause of freedom with responsibility and accountability as you expect from all of us. Help us to remember all in any place, at any of life's great works, who have served their country with dignity and honor. God bless the United States of America, for only you can make it great, working through us as a united people to keep it great and establish our place in the world as one of peace, liberty, equality, and justice for all. Amen.
At this time, the chairman of the Committee to Honor American Veterans, please be seated. Gordy Colson will make a few remarks. Gordy is a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel.
Well, welcome everybody. Put the news out, brought you out. Thank you so very much. I think that Memorial Day holds different meanings for each of us. For me, Memorial Day is about us and who we remember for their service to our country. Approximately 1,500 names appear on the bricks in this memorial. I ask that together we bow our heads in a silent prayer, those remembered at this memorial and the many others we have known and lost. Thank you. Today we remember our mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and friends we have cherished and lost. But I believe it is also a time for us to reflect upon ourselves as we raise families and do our best to make contributions to our community and to our country. There's no greater love than to share that love and respect with many thousands who have protected this country and lost their lives doing so. I want to take a moment to thank the Sunset Beach staff and council, town council, for participating in today's ceremony and for all their work in helping us prepare for today. One person from our all-volunteer committee could not be here today. Many of you know our second vice chairperson, Karen Joseph. She's coming out and going home sometime this week. And we know she would have been here if she could have found a way, like sneaking out of the rehab facility, catching a cab or hitchhiking to get here. Don't worry, Karen. This ceremony is going fine. Get better soon. And the same goes for our Secretary, Navy Captain Rick Popeska, who is recovering from surgery. As chairman of the Committee to Honor America's Veterans, it is my honor to tell you about our Veterans Assistance Grant Program. Since we started in 2016, we have already awarded $57,000 to a variety of local programs devoted to helping veterans. And we're all very proud of this program, and you should be as well, since your support of the memorial also supports our grant program. And the good news is that today we will be awarding 2 more grants. At this time, I'll turn the proceedings back over to John as we make these presentations. Thank you. Here we go, John.
As Gordy said, we have 2 grants to award today. Both of these organizations do an outstanding job of serving our veterans. The first grant, in the amount of $2,000, goes to the We Honor Veterans program in Lower Cape Fear Life Care. Joe, come on up, please. Stand up in front of there. Lower Cape Fear Life Care is a hospice program that serves Brunswick County as well as New Hanover, Pender, and Columbus counties. The Brunswick Hospice is in Bolivia, and the We Honor Veterans program recognizes and serves our veterans in their final days. Joe Peters, a hospice specialist for the Lower Cape Fear Life Care, will accept the check. Okay. Joe, thank you, and all the Lower Cape Fear Life Care personnel for all the help you do to our community and for our We Honor Veterans program that assists our veterans in their final days. The second grant, also for $2,000, goes to the Veterans Welcome Home and Resource Center in Little River. Come on up, Scott. The mission of the center is to assist our local honorably discharged veterans with job placement, filing claims with the Veterans Administration, helping those veterans who find themselves in deep financial difficulty, and providing temporary shelter to those veterans who are homeless until permanent housing can be secured. The center usually assists over 1,200 veterans in the course of the year. Mr. Scott Dulabon, director of the center, is here to accept the check. Hang around a minute. Just stand there. With these donations, the Committee to Honor American Veterans has now donated $61,000 to help veteran programs in our area. There are more details on our website of these programs and the donations. However, we are not going to stop there today. Under Scott's leadership, the Veterans Welcome Home and Resource Center has initiated a new program to convert shipping containers into mini homes to provide temporary housing to help homeless veterans in their transition to finding employment and permanent homes. The Committee to Honor American Veterans is now pledging $15,000 to sponsor one of these new transition homes. Thank you, Scott, and all the volunteers for the work you do. Surprise, surprise. Okay. We would like to extend a special thanks to all of you in the community who have made substantial financial donations in support of our Veterans Memorial. There are also those of you who have donated bricks to honor family and friends. There are those of you who have participated in our golf tournaments, and the next one is on June 16th at the Thistle Golf Course, and those who have supported our fundraising raffles. Combined, this support has enabled the Committee to Honor American Veterans to build and maintain this beautiful Veterans Memorial and to have our generous Veterans Assistance Program that we've just discussed. Thank you very much. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Now it is my distinct honor to introduce our guest speaker for this morning. Brigadier General Robert S. Cooley, Jr. is an excellent example of the close link in the U.S. Army between our active and reserve forces and the ties of our military to our civilian communities. Brigadier General Cooley began his career after graduation from West Point in 1989 as a field army officer with the 25th Infantry Division in Hawaii. As a captain in 1994, he transitioned to reserve status as a civil affairs specialist and came to the Wilmington area where he joined with his dad in an upstart of a business. The details of his military career and his rise to brigadier general, including his combat deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, are in the program, so I'm not going to repeat them here. While being successful in the Army, General Cooley was also active in business and in the community. He has served in the Battleship North Carolina Commission. He has worked with the University of North Carolina Wilmington Marketing Department and Student Veteran Organization, and he is currently on the board of directors of the Cape Fear West Point Society. In his spare time, he is the owner of Apple Annie's Bakery, my mother-in-law's favorite bakery, by the way, and co-owner of the Wine Sampler. And keep in mind, while doing all this, he is serving as an active duty brigadier general at Fort Bragg. Join me in giving a warm welcome to General Cooley.
Good morning. Look around. This is what America stands for. This is what we have been missing this last year. These are people, real people, not cardboard cutouts, not pictures of dogs, real people. I see smiles. I see hope. I see honor. I see sacrifice. And on this day, I think we're united in a bond that demonstrates that we understand what has happened today here at this place, at this amazing memorial, with this many people coming out to recognize what Memorial Day really means. Thank you, John, for that kindest introduction. All that means is I've been around for a long, long time. I would like to start today and really just say a couple thank yous. Then I'd like to go into what Memorial Day means to me and how we demonstrate what it really should look like around the world and in America. And then I'm going to close up, as good general officers do, with an ask to each one of you, because it's important that we understand how we got to this point and what we're going to do with this point going forward. I want to thank the committee to honor Americans veterans and Gordy Colson, active Army, Lieutenant Colonel retired, the chair of the great committee. Thank you to the Sunset Beach leadership, Mayor Shannon Phillips, Mayor Pro Tem John Corbett, the councilmen and women attendants, to the bugler who's going to play taps later at the end of these comments. For those of us who have served and understand what that means, that melody, that tune is amazing. Matter of fact, it brings tears to my eyes every time I hear that, and I'll probably do the same thing today. Thank you, Mr. David, for what you're about to do. And thank you to everybody here, our first responders. So the fire engine that went by at the start, that's the equivalent of an Air Force flyby. It was well played, gentlemen, well played. But thank you to the community. Thank you to the business leaders. Thank you to each and every one of you for what you do every day. You've taken time for your busy day, these crazy days, uncertain days, unknown days, a new normal, to come here and celebrate with us. It is amazing that we are here today after what we just come through. Thank you to our veterans, most notably our 3 World War II veterans. Let's give them another round of applause, please. And all of our veterans, past, those who are serving today, and those who will serve in the future. I must remind you, though, as good soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, you are still on watch. You are still on duty, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. And our duty is to remain steadfast and unwavering to service to this nation. Today, though, our mission is to focus on those who have fallen. President Lincoln said this at his Gettysburg Address. Those who gave the last full measure of devotion. And we're going to come back to that at the very end. But I will tell you that a grateful nation today says thank you to the families of the fallen that may be here today. You and only you know the true cost of what sacrifice means. Your loved ones are gone, not able to be here among us today in person, but you and we honor them, we remember them, we live their life every day through the memories, pictures, and stories on days like this. Today is not Armed Forces Day, it is not Veterans Day, it is Memorial Day. Is it a time to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for their country, particularly in battle or from wounds suffered in battle? This is a holy day to our nation, our communities, and our families. With much reverence and respect, today we honor specifically those who actually had to pay the ultimate sacrifice in defense of all that we hold dear. Each of us who have worn the uniform today know when we raise our right hand to swear an oath of allegiance to our Constitution and our nation, that we're also writing a check to this same grateful nation that says, I am committing something larger than myself. This check says, payable to all the people of the United States. We do not fill in the actual amount, but in very, very small print, it says up to and including my life. This check is non-negotiable, it's not up for discussion, and it's non-revocable. Those who serve cannot pull this check nor this oath back off the table. When things become uncomfortable or scary or in harm's way, or when it's raining too cold or too hot, this is for the duration. Today we recognize those who handed their check to St. Peter at the gates to heaven. Memorial Day is a day of national awareness and solemn reverence, a day for us to honor the military men and women who gave their lives in defense of this nation, its values, our freedoms, and our liberties. Those still on earth today nearly worship the fallen in many different ways, but we do honor them and their memories. We do this in the form of parades, picnics, gatherings, going to the beach, where we fly the American flag and we celebrate each other. We have barbecues with family and friends. We share war stories, and we tell the same lies that don't get any better over time. With our brothers and sisters in arms, and with our brothers and sisters everywhere. They understand what it means to serve, and they certainly understand what it means to serve in times of war. We do not forget. We never forget the importance of this day. I was speaking a couple of days ago with an international group, and they were asking me Why do we have Memorial Day? Why do we celebrate it with picnics and parades? And my answer was very simple. It is because it is our duty here today and every day forward to live our lives free, live our lives well and to the fullest. This group here, perhaps more than any other segment of society, fully understands and recognizes everything we have in front of us is because of those who came before us. We walk in their shadows. We try to fill their boots. We know the names of every fallen warrior is inked on our backs and in the threads of the flag that we fly on our uniforms. We must continue to move forward. We must celebrate our responsibility to participate fully in life. We must continue to learn, must continue to get better. We celebrate life today. We celebrate life tomorrow. We celebrate our fellow men and women. Anything less does not fully recognize the sacrifice of many. We have fought too hard for these rights and privileges to allow internal strife and divide, nor global enemies around the world to put our way of life at risk. It is our duty to model each and every day what right looks like to the rest of our fellow Americans so that they can participate in society as well, give back when able, provide opportunity for our families, and most importantly, provide a runway, an opening for the next generation. Memorial Day was first observed after the Civil War and called Decoration Day because families typically remembered their loved ones by decorating grave sites with flowers and flags. We still do that today. A couple examples of how we do that well is here today. This celebration with these people honoring our veterans today that have fallen and those still serving is what right looks like. We share this bond. We share this among ourselves, and we look at an opportunity to continue to show what right looks like. We have over 100 national cemeteries around the world that make it their duty daily to honor the fallen. Arlington National Cemetery is one of them. If you've not had the chance to visit Arlington, please put it on your bucket list. It is truly amazing. First burial was in 1864, and today we commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The commitment shown by the 3rd Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, is amazing, performed by volunteers that demonstrate the best of America. The changing in the Guard, done by the Sentinels, have stood nonstop through rain and shine since 1948. They will not stop. The tomb is a mourning and a site for reflection on service, valor, and commitment. The unknown soldiers in Arlington represent the service and sacrifice made by all Americans in the military. The second place I would ask to put on your bucket list is the American Cemetery at Omaha Beach in Normandy, France. There, nearly 9,400 service members lie in final rest. It is truly amazing to see the entire cemetery. My family and I had the opportunity to participate in 2 D-Day commemorations for the 74th and the 75th. The raw emotion remains visible to our World War II veterans and those Normans who still live from the battle. We were getting ready to jump into the same drop zones that they dropped in 6 June 1944. We're flying the modern-day C-130s, and I'm sitting down with paratroopers from the 12 other nations that were represented that day. And you could have heard a pin drop on that aircraft. We were all thinking about what those 16, 17, 18-year-old men were thinking about as they strapped on their parachutes, put on their camouflage, scrambled into boats to go from the amazing armada to the beaches. The gravity of the situation was truly amazing. To understand that they were getting ready to jump or drive or swim into the horrors that they were to face, yet they each did it. They did it honorably. Many of them never came back. The Normandy citizens today shower our American veterans that are still able to travel there with unabashed thanks, honor, and respect. In each village, they have simple parades, but the entire town comes out to celebrate, including school children, the elected officials, and everybody that's still there. They throw parties to say thank you. They know what the cost of sacrifice is. It's amazing to watch the grandfathers hold court with their grandchildren and any of the children around, or anybody for that matter, to explain to them what happened on this particular spot of the ground on 6 June 1944. They genuinely honor the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen that fought that day, that died on their soil and in the waters around. That is how they remember the sacrifices made. We could probably take note from them here in the United States. Unfortunately, we here in America do not treat our veterans of all wars with the same reverence and respect. More than one World War II veteran in Normandy told me, "General Cooley, the people of Normandy treat me as a hero, as a rock star. When I return back to the United States, I'm just an old man, a burden, living in a home." And I said, "No, sir." First time I heard that, my knees buckled. And unfortunately, it's not untrue in many places. Things are getting better, but it's not good enough in my humble opinion. To our Vietnam veterans here that came back to a country divided from their service overseas, they did not receive the ticker tape parades. But I will tell you, each time that I redeployed from overseas, the first person to visit at the airport before we came off were our veterans, and primarily our Vietnam veterans. This is their welcome home. This is their responsibility, and it's our honor and duty to respect them. So I'll finish today here quickly with just my ask. The ask is a simple one, and I mentioned it a little earlier. I ask each and every one of us here today to model what right looks like, each day, every day, and in everything we do. We need to demonstrate how to unite, not to divide. We need to show the world, and certainly our fellow Americans, what steadfast commitment means, to show what it means to be proud of our service to an amazing country, how to sincerely share a debt of gratitude. We can do this. We are an imperfect nation. This is true. We were built on the blood, sweat, and tears of those who came before us. And on this day, we say thank you to those who fell in this most noble cause. So that's my ask. I ask you to model what right looks like. This Memorial Day and everyone to come, I hope we can remember the link that we have with all generations that have gone before us, who selflessly served our country and paid the ultimate price. From the recent conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq, back to the American Revolution, our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen, and all others who serve, continuously put the welfare of the nation and their fellow service members before their own. It is a reminder of the true cost of war and a reminder to honor those who died while answering this call. I'll close lastly with a paragraph from President Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. I mentioned just a portion of it, and I'm going to read this verbatim because it's important that we understand the words. And this is what President Lincoln read at Gettysburg following the battle. "It is rather for us, the living, we here be dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they here gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve these dead shall not have died in vain, that the nation shall have a new birth of freedom, of that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth." I again want to thank the Committee to Honor Americans Veterans and Gordy Colson, the entire Sunset Beach leadership, our first responders, our support team, volunteers, community, business leaders that have made this a great start to an amazing day. I sincerely thank you for the opportunity to participate and be a very small part of this amazing celebration. God bless our fallen today and every day. God bless those who have served today, and will serve in days to come and in faraway lands. God bless America, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
He's a little bit taller than me. Thank you, General Cooley. We deeply appreciate you joining us today and your insights on the significance of Memorial Day. In closing the ceremony today, we honor the memories of our veterans and our first responders with a traditional wreath laying. Would the honor guard please move forward to pick up the wreath and escort our World War II veterans to the memorial, and our Committee to Honor American Veterans escorts, please escort Corporal McClune, Machinist Mate First Class Dinabrega, and Sergeant Jarmuz. Would everybody please stand and salute as our bugler plays, David Nelms plays taps. Order, arms. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you everyone for attending. I would ask you to please stay out of the memorial for a few minutes while we take a couple of photos in here. Then we will open the memorial up for anybody who wants to come and look. Thank you very much for joining us today.